Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. It is Monday, the 22nd of April, and I am so sorry, you guys. I had a momentary brain fart because, of course, I did. I did not remember that I have two doctor's appointments for kiddos. You know, the logistics thing is when having a large family kind of greases up, well, puts a monkey wrench in your, ideas of what you're going to be doing that day. But I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and we are back. I am standing up, feeling ready to at least start this Monday on a semi right track, good intentions and such. Our first story today is 15-year-old Miles Russell makes history with a T20 finish at Corn Ferry Tour event, earns another start. Now, I am not big into sports ball, but I know people do enjoy sporty things, so I'm trying to add a little bit more of those things in. And what about this awesome 14-year-old? Well, 15 now. At 15 years old, Miles Russell is wrapping up his freshman year of high school this spring. On Sunday, after a historic weekend at Lakewood National Golf Club, Russell has earned another start on the Corn Ferry Tour. Now, if it was the Cornhole Tour, well, it'd be a bunch of us Midwesterners semi tipsy throwing beanbags at each other. And do you know, stone cold sober, I cannot do that. Not that that's a shock to anyone who's seen my athletic abilities. But cornhole is fun, and it is the best game to play at barbecues when you're semi-tipsy, unless you get a competitive team. And then I'm like, you know what, y'all? I will be a cheerleader because I'm gonna wreck your back or your scores. Russell posted 5 under 66 on Sunday and made an incredible 7 birdies in a 10-hole stretch to close out the LECOM Suncoast Classic that brought him to 14 under on the week and gave him a T20 finish at the event. Now, I am sure if you watch golf, all of those words I just spoke to you made absolutely sense because I could have been speaking Klingon for all I knew at this point. Which made him the youngest player since they started keeping records in 1983 to complete a top 25 finish on either the PGA Tour or the Corn Ferry Tour. So, this is probably a dumb question, but is the Corn Ferry Tour, since it's spelled like the band Corn, are they a sponsor? I mean, that would be a mashup of awesome proportions. Can you imagine the Corn versus the Juggalos golfing match? Look, I am not saying I would pay to see that, even though I don't know all that much about golf. But the band Corn and then the insane clown posse, and all of their fans on a golf course, I think would just tickle my funny bone because of the odd juxtaposition of these two subcultures coming together at a golf course. It would just make it would tickle my absurdist, sensibilities. Russell, who is the reigning American Junior Golf Association's Player of the Year, was competed on a sponsor's exemption. He won the Junior PGA tournament by 7 shots last year, and he became the youngest person to ever win the Junior Players Championship. The only other male player to win the AGA's Player of the Year award at 15 was Tiger Woods. You know what, Miles? Auntie Mo's just going to tell you something. If you score a super hot, like model looking chick, don't cheat on her. Don't become a dingbag. Look, I'm just saying, in the future, this is future stuff. Russell posted a 66 on Friday too, which made him the youngest player to ever make the cut at 15 years, 5 months, and 17 days of age. Gipper Finau, the younger brother of PGA Tour golfer Tony Finau, held the previous Corn Ferry Tour mark at 16 years old. China's Guan Tinlang made the cut in the Masters in 2013 when he was 14. That's the record for a PGA Tour event. While Russell is still competing as an amateur, he won't get any money or Corn Ferry Tour points. He's finished earning his finish earned him a spot in next week's Veritax Bank Championships in Texas. He's not old enough to join the Corn Ferry Tour full time yet, but he can keep earning entries week by week. Anyone who finishes in the top 25 automatically earns entry into the following week's event. Tim Whitting beat Stephen Fisk and Patrick Cover in a playoff Sunday to win the LECOM Suncoast Classic. The trio got 20 under on the week, 6 shots better than Russell. Still no idea what any of that means, but if you know what golf means, then congratulations, this story is for you. And we should probably keep an eye on Miles Russell because he might be our next Tiger Woods. Sorry. In other news, a record number of confetti cannons were shot at the same time to break a world record. 2013 confetti cannons were fired at the same time to break a world record. A school in Australia set off 2013 confetti cannons at the same time to celebrate its 40th anniversary and to break a Guinness World Record. Students at St. Stephen's School in Western Australia sent confetti flying into the air Friday to break the record for the most people launching confetti cannons simultaneously. The previous record stood at 1,116 people, a target the students nearly doubled with 2013. A big thank you for everyone involved and a well done for our students who are so amazing, the school said in a Facebook post. And God bless the custodians. And you know what? If those kids not pull, I hope they have them cleaning up the mess because you know what? That would be like, y'all, I can understand why Mr. Filch in Hogwarts was just completely, done with children, crusty, and get off my lawn. I mean, can you imagine the type of shenanigans kids get up to in a magic school that you have to clean up? And you have no magical powers. But of course, these kids better have cleaned up all these confetti cannons because, it's okay to have fun, but you need to clean up too. That's the mom in me coming out. Look, we have had glitter in this house only once, and I am still picking up glitter. So I hope the kids did their own sort of policing of the area because if not, your school janitorial staff should get raises of the umpteenth degree because I would be so done. In sadder news, arsonist's son charged with helping dad cover up truth of mother's murder. Let me get this just a little bit bigger so you can see all the pictures. That is a mighty mullet right there. That is definitely business in the front and party in the back, but you're kind of an arsonist, so it doesn't really matter what you do with your fashion, to be fair. I don't see that being a big daggone deal when you're an arsonist. So here are the family players in this case. A young man helped cover up the crime after his father unalived his mother, says spokespeople for the Brevard County in Florida. Lane Michael Estep, 18, set fire to the truck of his co-defendant, Brian Estep, 42, according to authorities. The men were recently extradited from West Virginia to the Sunshine State to face charges in the death of victim Amber Renee Estep, 39. Amber was last seen January 16th. Her mother reported her missing on the following 19th after she missed shifts at work. Amber was last seen on January 16th. Her mother reported her. Sorry, I reread that. Investigators say they spoke to the victim's husband, Brian Estep, during an interview. Brian Estep allegedly told detectives that he had last seen his wife on the afternoon of January 16th. I'm going to go ahead and guess here. Now, I am not a smart woman and I don't gamble, but I'm going to guess that she had a brand new life insurance. I mean, do I have to do the little life insurance shuffle? Look, this is about the extent of my dance skills, y'all. It is horrible and horrific. But that chapter does the life insurance dance. So let's read the article and see if it was life insurance. Tragically and sadly, a lot of these cases seem to boil down to just plain old money, which is horrifying. Investigators say they spoke to the victim's husband, Brian Estep. During the interview, he allegedly told detectives that he had last seen his wife on the afternoon of January 16th. The husband said he and his wife got into an argument after leaving a medical appointment in Merritt Island. He claimed he dropped her off on the side of the Interstate 95. Sir, you done dropped your wife off like she was a pile of trash from your car on the interstate? Sir, I'm not saying you're guilty, but you're guilty of being a douche if that actually happened. But it might have been a little bit of a lie. Yes, that's right. He could have been lying. I know you're shocked. After she requested to get out of the vehicle, Brian Estep allegedly claimed Amber demanded to let her out of the vehicle even though they were going northbound on I-95. Sure, Jan, sure. Although, in the picture you are currently boasting right here, he is the gentleman in the orange over here. You know what? If I was stuck with you in a car, I might take a running leap out. Allegedly YouTube and Minecraft, of course. I would never fling myself from a moving car to get away from an angry person. I have no idea what you're talking about. He looks totally pleasant, and he's, as we always remember, these people are only charged with crimes they're supposed to be innocent in our heads. But, sir, if I'm a jury member and I hear your alibi was you done left your wife on the side of the freeway, I don't know that we're going to start out with a presumption of non-douchery. We may give you, innocent in the eyes of the law, but you might have already been found guilty in the mind of Mo as a douche. Defendant Estep allegedly said he left her out on mile marker 215 and that she took her phone and her purse. He allegedly claimed that he did not reach out to her for several days because he wanted to give her space. Okie dokie. But authorities said that several hours after they spoke to him, his truck was found engulfed in flames in the community of Port St. John. According to court documents, firefighters said that Lane Essep was at the scene and did not seem concerned. So Lane must be our bemulleted man, our business in the front, arson in the back kind of haircut. Sir, there you go. But he was apparently watching, his father's truck get flame broiled, but he's like, in true drinker fashion, nah, it'll be fine. And if you guys can see, quick squirrel moment, I do have my drinker up now. So things are coming together, you guys. They really are. Slowly but surely. And don't call me Shirley. Suggesting the vehicle, he suggested full Daryl Brooks. He went full third-party intervener, little Swayzer, and he was like, according to sources I have found, there was a recall, so I am not guilty, and just dropped the mic and walked out. Oh gosh, Daryl, one day I will get to you, and it will be ugly, but funny for me. It was the next day that the property owner discovered Amber, sorry, English is my first and only language, and I still can't speak it well. Discovered Amber Estep dead just off of State Road 46 near Pitbull Lane. Near Pitbull Lane, I mean, the only other more ironic name would be, like, right at the end of Homicide Avenue. Again, this is a terrible, terrible tragedy. This woman must have felt so much sadness and terror at the end of her life, but irony is still a thing, and humor is how I deal with these things. In fact, must we flash the warning? I think we're good. Y'all are y'all are generally okay. It's the new people that kinda get a little like, "Did she just make fun of them?" And I'm like, "No, I made fun of the situation, never the victim." Lane ac Now, when investigators spoke to Lane Essop about the vehicle fire, they said they'd already confirmed that there were no mandatory or fire-related recalls for the vehicle in question. "Lane, you did a good job, but, business in the front, arson in the back, haircuts. You better have some recipients or some receipts, if you will, if you're gonna say, recall caused your massive truck barbecuing." Lane allegedly claimed to an investigator he took his father's truck out while he and his friends were riding ATVs. They spotted smoke and eventually he saw flames, he said in the documents. He allegedly asserted he had parked the vehicle away from others due to where he lived and the direction from which he arrived. The younger Estep allegedly claimed to not know what happened, but noted a recall on the truck. Brian Essop said that he was letting his son use the truck with permission that night, according to documents. But friends noted it was strange for Lane to be using his father's truck and never driving the vehicle to work. He had never driven the vehicle to work. According to documents, his friends relayed comments like Brian Essop saying, "I feel like my ship is sinking," and Lane allegedly answering, "I've got my life preservers for us." Lane Estep called into work for the night of the fire due to, quote, "a family emergency," according to a work manager in documents. Brian Estep remains at the Brevard County Jail for murder in the first degree, tampering with evidence, and of a capital felony. Lane Michael Estep, who is accused of setting fire to the truck, is charged with arson in the first degree, accessory after the fact of a capital felony, and tampering with evidence in a capital felony. Well, this seems like a case we should watch. It is a Florida case, and Goodnight Nurse, does it have a lot of, fairly not smart criminals trying to cover their tracks? In a better, more feel-good story, police rescue a little girl crying for her mother in an apartment fire. So let's see if there are any photos that are just stills. And I can begin. I'm working on this setup, you guys. It's a work in progress. Police rescue 8-year-old girl crying for her mother during an apartment fire, and there is video. I will try to start linking the articles like Sticks does to my morning news. So if you would like to dig more into those, or if there's a story that, maybe has a GoFundMe attached to it and you feel strongly, that way you can look up the things, because I'll be honest with you guys, there are times where my brain will mix up words or kind of mix up the sentence structure. So I might not read things absolutely correctly. And I do want, if you guys are moved by any of the stories or just want to look up on your own, because what I like to say is I don't tell you how to think. I don't want you to think about or think things the way I do. I would love for you to research yourself. So, starting tomorrow, I will start linking the articles in the description. So, if you want to maybe dig in more on your own, you guys can do that too. Nevada authorities released body cam video of their officers rescuing a distraught young girl from an apartment fire last month. Henderson Police Department shared body cam video, which was taken on March 10th on a Facebook last week. Authorities said they were told a child and mother were trapped in the apartment. Quote, upon arrivals, officers observing the windows of the apartment shattered with smoke and flames coming from within. Police say in a video, officers were informed that a mother and daughter were trapped inside the burning building. Acting swiftly and without hesitation, these courageous officers successfully rescued an 8-year-old girl and 2 dogs. No one else was in the apartment. Body cam video shows the perspective of an officer shouting to make sure no people were inside the burning building. One officer asked his colleague if he wanted to go inside, and they barged into the smoke-filled apartment. This is Henderson Police Department. We're making entry, the officers announced. I mean, again, you could have your feelings on the cops, and there are always going to be some bad apples. But how many of us are going to go into a burning house? How many of us are going to do these things? You know, some people truly are called to serve and they do their very best, along with first responders and, your EMTs, your firefighters, all those people. Yes, you're going to have some bad apples, no disagreements, and there probably should be a better way to hold them accountable. But for the majority, there are people that would run into a burning building to save doggos and kiddos. Immediately, the officer recognized that a child was standing on the other side of the room and encouraged her to come closer. She was wrapped in a blanket at the time. Hey, come here. Hey, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. The officer heard saying to as the 8-year-old walked slowly closer. Is there anyone else inside here? The officer asked before the child replied that her mother was inside. We're going to get your mom, he reassured the child. The 8-year-old then started crying and screaming as she walked out of the home. The rest of the video shows officers rescuing a dog in the apartment and looking through the smoke for the girl's mother, who is already out of the building. Now, here's where I have questions. Here's where I have a lot of questions, and I hope this isn't the case, but something sounds a little sus about this, as far as the mother being able to get out and the daughter being left alone and the doggos. If there was, God forbid, a fire here, I don't know that I would leave the house unless I knew that all the ferals and and as many of the cats as we can get out, because cats are a little bit difficult to corral, but as many cats as we could get out in their big old, fenced in condo outside, that's what I would be doing. You would not see me outside. Unfortunately, I'd probably be one of the parents who may succumb to smoke inhalation because I wouldn't leave until everyone was out of the house. F things, I want my kids and I want my husband and I want my kiddos out if possible. But for the mom to be out of the fire without realizing that her 8-year-old and her doggos were there, that's a little sus to me. I'm trying not to judge, but I'm judging just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. Look, Lord, I'm down from a butt ton to just a smidgen of judgment. It's personal growth. Anderson locals applauded the bravery of the police officers in the Facebook comment section. Y'all are amazing. Keep doing what you do. You're greatly appreciated, one Facebook user said. As a survivor of a 75% burn injury, I commend the Houston Police Department for their actions that most likely saved this family's life, wrote another one. So those are my thoughts on that. I could be completely wrong, but I'm just saying the mom being outside with the police going in to rescue. Something about this strikes me as, hmm, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Our next story is a man who won his race but may lose, well, his freedom. Man who won primary election while charged with unaliving someone is convicted on lesser charge. So let's read about this. Well, this politician that truly is a crook. He's been adjudicated, y'all. I can say it. And of course, it would be Indiana, because why would it not be Indiana? We are the source of all your crazy shenanigans news from now on. For the rest of humanity, apparently, Indiana is the legal shenanigans state. Yay, us. Anyhoozle, a central Indiana man who won a primary election for township board position while being charged with unaliving his estranged wife, excuse me, has been found guilty of the lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter. A Boone County jury convicted Andrew Wilhoit, 41, of Lebanon on Thursday, local news outlets report. Wilhoit was charged with the unaliving and the death of his wife, 41-year-old Elizabeth Nikki Whithold, who was reportedly, her coworkers reported her missing March 25th, 2022, when she did not show up for work. Her body was found in a creek near her home the next day. She had filed for divorce on March 17th and recently finished chemotherapy treatments for cancer. Sir, if you unalived your cancer survivor wife, and it sounds like you've been convicted for it, I didn't watch the trial, so I don't know if there were any shenanigans. But sir, if said scenario is true, you are a douche of magnetic, magnanimous, mega thunder cow, like all of the badness. You have been charged. I am just, for the life of me, sorry, I'm wearing this new, y'all, I'm trying shapewear. Now, y'all know I did not buy the real brand. I bought the off brand. And it's just a little more boobagey than I thought I was going to get. So, welcome, Monday and Boob Shelf. Now, I'm the world's worst Christian, so don't come at me, Pearl. And my husband does approve, so bite me sideways. Anywho, Will Hoyt told the police he struck his wife with a flower pot during an argument, then dumped her body in the creek. He faces 10 to 30 years in prison when he is sentenced on June 4th. One of his attorneys, Jennifer Lukemeyer, said she had no comment on the verdict. Will Hoyt was one of 3 Republican candidates who advanced in a 2022 primary for Township Board before later withdrawing from the race. I can't imagine. Why would you withdraw? Why would you let a little thing like, being accused of homicide stop you from running for politician stuff? I don't know. Did she, sir, the real question we must ask here on your douchery thing, did you make her sign a life insurance, like, for triple the amount of the last one right before she, I don't know. She was just accidentally not alive. Back to the story. He received 60 out of the 270 total votes for the Republicans for 3 positions on the Clinton Township Board. Boone County election officials results showed the race drew only 3 candidates. Well, so there you are. This man, he fought the law and the law won. So he tried to run the law and he got all the votes, but he's still in orange. It is a strange world, and I bring you all the strange news. In Finland, you can see what computers are likely to give us when we are fully in the matrix. So there you go. Bright stories with bright news. A coffee roastery in Finland has launched an AI generated blend, and the results were surprising. Did people just say no to Skynet? Look, y'all, I don't know how many Terminator movies we have to make, and poor Arnold just done had a heart attack. But no one will listen. AI is terrible except for the image generator because that is, who knew a Sharknado could look that cute? But all this other stuff, this shenanigans, no, no. This is how your toaster takes over and becomes the president of your house. Just saying, y'all, just saying. I'm I am firmly against our, future zombie overlords being AI. I'm just throwing it out there. I refuse. In Helsinki, an artisan roastery based in Finnish capital has introduced a coffee blend that has been developed by artificial intelligence in a trial in which is hoped that the technology can ease the workload in a sector that traditionally prides itself on manual work. Yeah, that's the big thing about these artisanal coffees. Someone hand roasts it, they hand try it, they test out a bunch of different blends. They figure out there is all this sciencey stuff that I had no idea was sciencey stuff about coffee roasting until surprisingly I read a romance novel, and you'll be shocked, but some of these authors actually do a lot of in-depth research on what their, characters are gonna do, and, the sciencey stuff I learned, and it might be all BS, who knows? It was a romance novel, but still, there's a lot of mathing and sciencing in figuring out the right coffee blend according to my vast knowledge of smexy books about baristas. Look, I'm just saying it's a genre, I don't know. It is only apt that Helsinki-based Kaffa Roastery AI Conic blend was launched this week in Finland, a Nordic nation of 5.6 million that consumes the most coffee in the world at 12 kilograms per capita annually. Well, that's why they're so nice. They're all fully caffeinated like the Lord intended. Go to Finland. Apparently, it's full of just nice, chill people. And Fedorowski, and he takes a bunch of chill movies. So check him out if you need to unwind after, fears that your toaster will become your internet overlord. The blend, an AI picked mixture of four types of beans dominated by Brazil's velvety Fazenda. Fazenda Pinhel was an end result of a joint project by Kaffa, Finland's third largest coffee roastery, and local AI consultancy ELV. Leveraging models akin to ChatGPT and Copilot, the AI was tasked with crafting a blend that would ideally suit coffee enthusiasts' taste, pushing the boundaries of conventional flavor combinations, ELV said. Kaffa Roastery's managing director and founder, Savante Humph, told the Associated Press on Saturday that two partners wanted to try a trial of how AI and different tools could be of help in the coffee roasting business, which is traditionally an artisan profession highly valued in Finland. Again, there's a lot of just person knowledge, a lot of, mentor apprentice kind of stuff that I'm guessing you would need for this kind of venture, this kind of going out and picking out the right bean and knowing the right roast. We are losing these skills. We are losing the gathered knowledge of generations because we want to turn it to a computer. If these older generations die without these skills being passed on, this is how you end up with, Warhammer 40K, where, people will be searching for, oh my gosh, here it is, a recipe on a post-it note of Granny's favorite biscuits. We have found it. I mean, That is what we are going to do. If we do not preserve our history, if we do not preserve these skills, if we do not stop this train of everyone must go to college, everyone must get a degree and be debt slaves forever, then we are going to lose some of the handcrafting, truly highly skilled uh, talents and knowledge that we have accumulated. And this is so terribly sad for me. I will get off my soapbox now and remember the rest of the article. In addition to coming up with the chosen beans from Brazil, Colombia, Ethiopia, and Guatemala, AI created the package label detailing the description saying I AI Conic is a well-blended, balanced blend of sweetness and ripe fruit. I don't know that I want my coffee to taste like ripe fruit. As a fluffy person who may or may not have had to try that, army diet, uh, quick update for those of you who will see it, you will get a sheet from your recruiter and/or you will see it on the internet. No, it doesn't work. Coffee without any creamer is gross. Even if you pick the blueberry blend, which would in theory make it taste okay-ish. No, that is a hard pass. The army military diet does not work. Do not do that. There is no reason one should ever have to drink coffee without creamer. I demand a recount. Humph acknowledged he was surprised that the AI somewhat weirdly chose to make a blend out of 4 types of beans rather than the 2 or 3, which usually allows distinction in taste between flavors from different origins. After the first test roasting blind tasting, Kaffa's coffee experts agreed, however, that the tech-assisted blend was perfect, and there were no need for human adjustments. You are going to lose the human knowledge intrinsic. Sometimes there is this part of you cannot easily explain with words that help you instinctively pick the right things. When you are a master craftsperson, you just get a feeling, you know what works. If we lose this and computers go down because, we sent back the little twitchy guy, I cannot remember his name, just came out, Sean Bean. Since we sent Sean Bean back from the future, it's going to be really interesting to see how much you have a resurgence in home baking, homesteading, things like that. So I don't think we will generally lose this, but I think we lose a bit of the soul of these artisanal products when we invite AI. According to Elves spokesperson, Auntie Merito, and I'm sure I am butchering all of these names and I'm giving them a Spanish accent, but that's generally how I say things that I have no idea what I'm saying, so I'm sorry. AI Conic is a tangible example of how AI can introduce new perspectives to seasoned professionals while offering coffee lovers a new taste experience. Kaffa Roastery hopes that the trial serves as an opening dialogue between coffee professionals of things to come in the future in Finland, a nation that has both a strong coffee culture and a passion for technology with a flourishing startup scene. Quote, this trial was a first step in seeing how AI could help us in the future, Humph said, adding that the project brought together smoothly, quote, artisanal skills of roastery and AI approved data or provided data. I think AI has plenty to offer us in the long run. We are particularly impressed with the coffee taste descriptions it created. Well, there you go. I mean, look, we can invite AI into some things, and in other things, that's a negative Knight Rider. Now, we have to go to a not so good story because this guy is a total dingleberry that must be scraped off the behind of humanity, allegedly in Minecraft. YouTube, I'm just saying, Gen Pop might not be the place you want to be, sir. Because, Mr. Ed was barbecued by this guy, and he is such a jerk face, and I I cannot tell you, you guys, how much this man deserves a one-way ticket to Snake Island. But let's get into the article. Quote, "Enjoy your prison sentence, you low life," end quote. I like it. Look, I love it. We don't allow the victims to speak until the end, and then they're supposed to address the court. Now, if I'm in charge of things, they might get tomatoes or koosh balls to throw. Maybe some marshmallow or what is it, squishamals. Look, I am just saying, vote me for president, and victims will get squashmallows to throw at defendants. Look, it's either that or you get the other two options. So I'm just saying, throw me in there. The only thing I need is for CNN to call me one day and say, "Are you Mo? And why is it that so many people are writing your name down?" And then I get to tell them the hand job story live on air. It would be the highlight of my life and possibly humiliate my mother to the nth degree and cause her to, spontaneously cringe out in a hilarious way. So really, it would make my day. I love my mother, but she doesn't quite get internet culture or anything really that I do. I was definitely her alien baby. She's like, you're real interesting." Anywhoozle, back to the story. I am glad that this victim got to speak, to him in that manner. I think that they should be allowed to vent their feelings. But I am not a lawyer, and I do understand there's a level of professionalism, so possibly not, squashmallow tossing time. That could be a separate event held outside with rotten tomatoes. I am willing to change my edicts to help keep decorum in the courtroom. Arsonist gets prison time for setting fire that killed 30 racehorses at Tioga Downs. I don't even want to imagine how much these racehorses first were loved and cared for, hopefully, by their owners, by the people that were working in these stables. But the amount of money that is, these horses are almost investment property level, insane prices. And to keep a horse alive, you have to give it a lot of work, and they keep it in a top, athletic shape requires an additional investment. So not only did he, take people's investments away in a blink of the eye, you form an attachment with animals, whether it's, an investment or maybe the people that actually just worked with them day to day. I mean, it's heartbreaking to lose one animal, let alone 30. Are you kidding me? You giant douche. An arsonist was sentenced to between 7 and 15 years in state prison for starting a fire at Tioga Downs Casino Complex in New York that killed 30 racehorses, a cat, and wounded a trainer trying to save the animals. Boyd H. Fenton, let's see if we get a closer look at Mr. Boyd. Sometimes they put it, no. But look at these beautiful horses. This man torched beauty. That's unacceptable. Of Pennsylvania learned his fate on Friday. He pled guilty in January to charges of arson, assault, and 30 counts of interference or injury to certain domesticated animals, according to Tioga County District Attorney Kirk O. Martin. That's what you did. You murdered our kids. Horse owner Mindy Findling Repko said directly to a Fenton court, Central New York's WSYR reported. She described the trauma of losing 5 of her beloved horses, whom she described as her sons, as she cannot have any children of her own, the outlet reported. Ma'am, my deepest sympathies go out to you. I cannot imagine the heartache of wanting a child so desperately and your body just not working with you, and then taking that passion, moving it over to, horses and taking care of them and giving these animals the best life they can. and someone's random ridiculousness takes that away from you, it takes a hell of a lot of courage to make peace with the fact that you are not gonna get something your heart dearly, dearly wants, and then to channel that passion into something else, with that little bit of heartbreak still there. This man, straight to Snake Island, straight to Horse Island. We're sending him to Mustang Island, and we're pissing off the Mustangs. As Fenton was escorted out of the courtroom, a woman in the audience said, quote, "Enjoy your prison sentence, you low life. Enjoy your prison sentence, you low life." WSYR reported. As Law and Crime reported, on November 9th, Fenton entered the barn in Nichols, 150 miles northwest of New York City, and set it on fire in November. The fire prompted a response from local police and multiple fire agencies. A trainer suffered second-degree burns and was hospitalized. That's what you don't get. And this is what bothers me about that mom in the previous story that we kind of just covered, is that for normally, if you are a caring person, if there is something in there that you care about, not a thing, but a living thing, you will go to injure and possibly hurt yourself because you care so much and you want to get that animal out. So the mom being out of the house, but the girl and the dog being still in really does confuse me. And there might be a completely legitimate reason, but it does confuse me because there is no way I would be out of the house before my kids and my kiddos. Repco told affiliate WENY that her husband, John, told her the unfathomable news. It destroyed her. Quote, "I just looked at him, Jan, and I'm like, what are you saying? How could they just be gone?" Repco told the station. "I made my way to the couch, and that's where I stayed for, I can't even tell you how long." Repco told the station that the loss has profoundly and permanently hurt her. The second anxiety attack, Jan, said, quote, "I'm taking you to the hospital." I said, "No, you're not." She told the outlet. I said to him, "Jan, I don't care if I die. I will go be with my boys." This is soul devastation. I wish we could. I'm kind of tearing up because I understand. Look, y'all know Fry passed away. But I can't imagine how deeply this affected this woman. And honest to goodness, I kind of look, prison justice is a thing, and I'm kind of okay with it at this moment. Because I can do angry. I can do angry, but sad and heartbroken are hard for me. So I say Snake Island and Mustang Island in whichever order we choose. I think Mustang Island should be first. I say set him among wild horses. I don't even know how Fenton, can fathom what it's like or what it is that he has done to us, Repco said. Some in the Tioga equestrian community feel that the sentence is too lenient for the permanent damage done. Quote, "This in no way ends the physical, emotional, or monetary pain and suffering that will take so many more years to get over, if ever," Cindy Tuttle Allers wrote on Facebook. "My heart still hurts for one of the horses I knew personally, so I can't imagine the grief of the owners, trainers, and their families are experiencing and have experienced." And this is a real thing. I probably would not have equated grief of losing a pet akin to grief of losing a person, but having gone through it now, it's the same doggone thing. It's the same. It's no different. And I think we should really respect when someone criminally hurts someone's animal like this. They're part of the family. Like I think Mr. Mutton Face, I don't know what his name is gonna be, but he's definitely gonna be middle manager, of the Chaos Dimension. So probably Lord McFloofy Pants, middle management of, because he does look like he belongs in Dunder Mifflin. Eh, if anything happened to any of my cats and it was because someone hurt them, Honey Badger Mama Bear doesn't really come out, all that often. But when she is provoked, it is an ugly sight to behold. I will be working on my TED Talk for future teachers this afternoon. So it should be a video that will be members only and then released to the general everybody's tomorrow. So I am working on it today. I have not forgotten it. I am feeling so much better today, and I'm going to try to take it by the horns and really work on some new stuff. In our final story, a good story for once. Holy fazolies, do we need a good story after that? But look at this cute, beautiful family. Miracle babies who met in the hospital just had a baby of their own. Look at that sweet little mushy face. Although she does look a little jaundiced, but that could just be the angle, and goodness knows, it's not important. I'm just being a dingleberry. So let's see if we have more photos. Look at them. Look at when they were little and they were preemies. This is such a heartwarming story. If you are a mama that had a child in the NICU, I see you. I see you. I had one, and oh my gosh, it's an experience I never want to have again. These once-in-a-lifetime Lundbergs just hit repeat. A pair of friends who met as miracle babies in a hospital nursery have decided to keep the tradition going by having a child together of their own, born in the same place. Jack Richardson and Bronwyn Tracy, both 29, were both born prematurely at Queen's Medical Center in Nottingham, England in 1994. Well, I feel old. During which point their families sought solace in their shared birth journeys. Richardson was born at 30 weeks while Tracy arrived at 26 weeks. Her surviving at 26 weeks in the 90s is a miracle. A miracle. I mean, that is just miraculous. And, the universe, the God, the spaghetti monster in the sky, whatever you choose to believe in, things like this are really sort of miracle moments, like a coincidence. Where I choose to see God, you may just choose to see coincidences that turned into a nice story. But these are the kind of stories I do love. Jack was in intensive care. He was in there for a year with numerous hospital appointments, Tracy recalled to Southwest News Service. It was touch and go whether we would both make it. It's a complete miracle that we're both here. I had growth hormone injections until I was 16 to ensure I was not really short, she added. The children grew as their parents stayed in touch but drifted apart as the teenagers attended different schools and made different friends. Still, they were never too far from each other's minds, remembering the other's birthday every year and making time to see each other sporadically while pursuing other relationships. In October 2021, something between them clicked after Tracy posted a fresh-faced photo on social media. I was pictured with my hair done and he messaged me on Facebook. She recalled, it wasn't too long before Richardson broached the subject of dating. Their courtship soon revealed that the pair was quote unquote right for each other. By June 2023, the pair realized they were expecting. Richard's mom, Helen Pickering, said she couldn't quite believe it. It's just amazing. The first person he met is the person he got a baby with. Said Pickering at 53, with Richard by her side. Tracy gave birth to their first child. Their healthy daughter, Sienna, was born in February 2023, which means she just had a first birthday. So, happy first birthday to Sienna belatedly. At Queen's Medical Center, the same hospital in which they were both born nearly 30 years prior. Reflecting on their strange meet cute, Tracy says she doesn't know anyone else or any other relationship like this. What she does know is that it feels right. It's a great partnership. We're like best friends as well as partners. It's the best of both worlds, she explained. We just get each other, finish each other's sentences. We know what each other is thinking before we say it. It just feels very natural to be together. So, what a lovely story to end on. I don't think they put any more picture. Oh, yes, look. So there's them as itter bitters hanging out, doing all the fun stuff with your friend as you do, and then there's them as a family. Stories like this, like I said, you I would never ask you to become, whatever, to think just like me. So maybe you do feel like this is just the universe and it's a bunch of coincidences and chaos. But either way, if you believe it's a God thing or a chaos thing, it's still a good story to end on this Monday. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Uh, you know, my new motto going forward is try something hard for you. Look, this channel has been even the channel name is, Mo in the Deep End. Look, YouTubing was way outside my comfort zone, peopling in general, but I just jumped in with both feet. And were there some growing pains? Are there still some technical difficulties? Absolutely. But it has opened up so many new worlds. And I hope that for all of you, you pick one semi hard thing to do for yourself today. I will be doing my first chair workout in a long time with Mr. Mo. He has been greatly encouraging of me wanting to get more movement in the way I can, and that's definitely gonna be hard for me because, if you have been somewhat athletic-ish, that's about the highest level I've ever achieved, and then you have to go back down and start all over again. It is deeply humbling, but it's also better than not moving at all. So maybe your one hard thing today is just going outside and getting some fresh air, because I know how easy it is to get staying inside and just not peopling. It is tempting. But, I would greatly encourage you to try something hard today. Try something that's difficult. Try something that maybe is just a little bit out of your comfort zone. And with these small little steps, I think that we will all see our lives improving with just small little steps. It doesn't have to be a Herculean effort all at once. So I am definitely trying that. And I encourage you to try it too, because, sometimes the things that scare us the most are the things that open so many doors. So, on that note, have a wonderful Monday. Sprinkle sarcasm, wit, and heart everywhere you go, just like glitter. And I will see you guys a little bit later this evening, and then on with Shizzy this evening, too. So, bye, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to get this up so you can see it at 9. Bye.